architecture can be fun. Fun for the users to experience, fun for the users to engage the spaces. We wanted to design a house that could engage its inhabitants and to surprise them into discovering things that we ourselves would not normally discover or expect. I live here with my wife, Wei Wei, daughter, Lara, and our two pets, Claude Debussy III, the cat, and Ruffy, the dog. This semi-detached property has a smallish plot, so the way we utilize the space is very important. The big idea was really to optimize the experience rather than just to maximize the use of the land. We adopted a very free and open plan where people like us, as well as the cat and the dog, can walk and run around freely. There are lots of elements that occur in both music and architecture. The most obvious would be rhythm, shape, proportion, and in particular with architecture, the idea of silences and spaces. My thinking and knowledge about architecture has indeed inspired me to not think like an architect, but perhaps sometimes, on occasion, think like a musician. One of the main elements of the architecture and the composition of this house is the music studio. This music box is where Lara practices her violin, her viola, as well as her singing. And what is nice is we sometimes hear these music emanating from a mysterious source.
When my friends come to our house, most of them are blown away because of the surprises that they see along the way. My pets especially, the cat, Debussy, loves to hide from us. And every couple of days, he'll manage to hide somewhere and we can't find him. As you can see, there are holes and the bookcases, they are like 3 floors high. So he does hide in them. And it's quite fun in a way. We like to have a sense of humor as a family. I think that's very important to bond the family as well.
The thing that sets this place apart from other projects is the fact that it is essentially a house of rejects. A lot of elements that we have not gotten a chance to do elsewhere has actually appeared in this house.
Typically, Rene will hand sketch his ideas and concepts. I will then develop and materialize his ideas through 3D modeling.
It's a house that was built largely with cabinetry, to the extent that I've also on occasions called this house a house without walls, because it does not utilize brick walls to separate or define spaces, but we use the cabinetry instead, just to shape the flow of spaces and the way we move around. The magnum opus of this house, a double-height walk-in wardrobe for Wei Wei. At 57, this is really my last chance to spoil my wife. We have actually designed a house which is a house within a house. The water and this layer of buffer insulates the house. It keeps it cool and it protects it from the ravages of the weather as well. The element of surprise is important, and the idea for the house to rediscover and to even reinvent itself through time, I think, is what enlivens the architecture and makes it interesting through time.
I talk to my God. We not say it out. We just contact with the heart. I touch them with love. When they feel it, they show the sign that I know they feel it. I talk with my cheese. The smell is correct. The texture is correct. This means they're happy. Nua Gai is from my name, Gai. Nua in Thai this means umami. Nua Gai is my daughter, and I talk to her every day. And this cheese is my signature. It's soft cheese with a wrinkled skin, fruity, creamy, and a little bit French style, but it's not too strong like a French cheese. It has a Thai characteristic we call la mun la mai. It's gentle, it's warm, your feeling. Oh, รักกันนะป่ะรักกันป่ะนี่รักอ่ะรักไหม In Thailand, we have a different feed stuff from the Europe. Our meal, the characteristic is different. So I think that difference should be something that we call local artisan cheese. I back to the farmer. and asked them, hey, this is a technique that I create for stop the virus. And the farmer says, หมอทุกครั้งที่หมอมาหมอพูดแต่เรื่องเสียตังค์อะหมอไม่เคยพูดเรื่องได้ตังค์กับผมเลยอะ I asked my husband because he studied abroad in Germany for the vet school, and he says, people in Europe, they don't drink goat milk, they eat goat cheese. I Google about cheese, how it tastes, how it's feeling, how it's texture. Even in the YouTube, I watch it again and again and again and again. Then I start to make it. Before this, I was a veterinarian and PhD student. I quit my PhD and then I be a cheesemaker. He teach me how to have a right perception with the cheese, and he set the plate. And I taste it. I feel, oh, yeah. I remember everything already, the smell, the texture, the taste, how you feel in your mouth, how the creamy. It's like a scientist book. He tried to push me every time that I met him. He said, oh, it's not cheese, guy. It's not yet a cheese at all. What is cheese? Can you tell me? And he gave me an idea. Guy, cheese is a product in your culture. I said, oh, it's a keyword. Then I start understand cheese in the correct way. So I start to transform myself since that day. I get the idea from everything. Like my friends bring me some herb. Oh, what's this? I smell, I touch it, I feel it, and I think about what should I do with it and my cheese. Most of them were very successful in the first batch. I said, no, it's not yet. I think it can be better. And I do the second. Oh, it failed. The third fell again. And finally, I back to the first batch. I have to try something more else all the time. And my husband said, because you are a scientist.
When she said that she wants to be a cheesemaker, I just say, go on. You can do it. And she do it. I think from that day to now, we have the failure of the goat cheese making is more than our successful now. Because in our refrigerator in Bangkok, we have the first lot of cheese. That is not the delicious one, but as meaningful for us. And every time the cheese is failed, I will tell her that don't worry, it will be better.
I would say 90% of the customer, first of all, didn't expect that we have really good quality goat cheese in Thailand. When we hear something like that, we feel also encouraged. Kun Kai and I are doing something which is not monetarily profitable, but we do it in a sustainable way. This is our profit.
From now, I have two projects for the future. One, we will set the cheese project in another area, like in the north and northeast of Thailand, because I want to generate my knowledge to making cheese to another farmer in a different area. And another project that I want my cheese is zero carbon. It's very difficult, but it's so challenging me. I start to make goat cheese because I can transform myself. I can learn everything to fulfill or achieve my goal. It's my aim in my life.
At the end of the meal, having the dessert could be the most memorable. It doesn't have to be too complicated, but eating it probably will remind you of some kind of flavors that you had before, like your childhood times or something very familiar to you. This dessert is actually like a donut and a combination of what we have in Singapore, the ham ji bang. In Taiwan, we call it sambal Thai. This idea comes from a corn snack, and we call it a yu mi bang. In Taiwan, there's like a lot of childhood kind of memory from this corn snack.
他在设计这个 texture 上面，他应该要先怎么样把它分出来，然后我们再来去想我们要做什么样的味道。他会来看，我每一季的菜单，或是每张菜单的前面我放了些什么，然后他去做，他最后面把尾巴把它收进来。他的风格，那他是一个新加坡的华人，但他却做有一点台湾味道的甜点。 对，譬如说材料啊，然后一些小小的东西上面是你可能会会心一笑。
There's actually a lot of common things in Singapore and the culture in Taiwan. One of our signature dessert, which is Taiwan's pineapple cake, which is 凤梨酥. But I added more spice into the marmalade because back in Singapore when we do the pineapple tart, we actually add in a little bit more spices to elevate the flavor. My mom's hobby, it was baking and cooking, and so when I was about 3, I liked to hang around in the kitchen with her. But it started off more like a chaos until I grew up like maybe like 7. That was when I started off really helping her, like, weighing all the stuff, baking with her, cooking with her. We enjoy a lot being together in the kitchen. Chefs isn't that glamorized back then when I make this career switch. But to me, that was what I wanted to be. I'm more comfortable in the kitchen doing baking and plating, that kind of rush feeling. When I told my mom that I want to make the switch, she was totally supportive. She was like, you should have told me earlier. I joked around and I was like, why didn't you hire me? He kept it in mind and he was setting up Tairroir. He called me and asked if I would like to join him in Taiwan as his pastry chef. I took up the offer and right now I'm in Taiwan, Taipei.
"甜点对一个像我们这种业态的餐厅是很重要的事情。 所以才会想要找 Angela 来加入我的团队。
Angela 平常跟我最喜欢去做的事情就是到处去吃甜点，以及这些传统的台湾的小吃。我们会一起排休，然后就是到台湾各地去旅行跟冒险。Angela 私底下是个非常热情、活泼，而且非常跟我一样就非常人来疯的人，然后就也很贴心，然后对朋友就非常的好。但是在他专业的部分上面，他是一个非常追求完美的人，就是一点点小出错都没有办法接受。台湾的甜点界，我觉得因为在 Angela 就是带入了这些新的元素之后，把这些传统的街边的小吃要上另外一个国际的层次。因为我觉得这边就是非常，就是具有台湾传统小吃的这些精神。
Sandwich, it's eaten hot and cold because they have like milk flavored ice shavings, and then you have hot mochi with sesame powder or peanut powder and a little bit of sugar. There's like different textures, different flavors, and of course you have like, the hot and cold combination, which is very interesting for me. It's actually something that, you could make into a dessert. This year will be my 6th year. I get to experience earthquakes, typhoon, and you get a call the next day, the farmer telling you, I'm sorry, you're not gonna get your fix because it's blown away. Yeah, so it's something that you have to deal with. It's pretty challenging for me. As a person, Taiwan changed me quite a lot. I get to use a lot of local produce. I get to know more about learning the culture, not only as a chef, also as myself, and interpreting some of this culture into our dessert, which is, for me, a learning experience. The first thing that I want to do is to go back home, of course, give my mom a big hug, go out and have some hawker food. There's a lot of like friends and relatives that I miss hanging out around with back in Singapore, and I miss the food.